That's right, Tina. The government pivoted yesterday and made a lot of claims when it announced the stay-at-home order, and we're putting them to the test tonight, starting with fact-checking Doug Ford's claim that he only found out the day before yesterday that ICU cases were climbing at an alarming rate.
Why did you wait, and are you listening to science or aren't you?
Why did the government wait to implement a stay-at-home order when the province's health science table called for one a week ago and evidence was mounting the variants were out of control? Here was Doug Ford's answer.
Even the people that were showing us the charts and where we were going, the ICU has taken off. The capacity at the ICUs and these variants have taken off even beyond what they told us.
But that doesn't add up. 1 week ago, the Health Science Advisory Table released this graph showing that even with a stay-at-home order, there would be just under 800 ICU cases by the end of April. As of today, April 8th, there are 525 cases and no sign they're abating.
The number of patients in hospital and ICU continue to increase.
And 1 month ago, the Health Science Table warned by early April there would be 400 to 650 patients in ICU. On April 1st, there were 433. The NDP and the Liberals are crying foul.
So it's just completely mind-boggling to me that the Premier of Ontario could have stood at the podium yesterday and said with a straight face that it was only the day before that he learned that the ICU numbers were going so badly out of control. It doesn't ring true to me, but if it is true, this is not just incompetent, it is negligent.
Let's turn to paid sick days now, which many doctors and the Science Advisory Table have been calling for. Yesterday, Premier Doug Ford said workers could get them through the federal government.
There's a lot of people that are playing politics right now, and it's totally irresponsible. There's paid sick leave from the federal government.
It's true, there are paid federal sick days. However, this doctor points out the program is far from perfect.
You have to put yourself into the mind of a worker. $450 that comes back, which calculated is less than Ontario's minimum wage for a 40-hour week. We're disincentivizing people to do the right thing.
Now, let's fact-check the government's claims about schools.
99.28% of students have never reported a case of COVID.
But what the government isn't saying is their figures do not reflect undetected asymptomatic cases. And while 99.28% of students may not have reported COVID, out of 2 million, that still equals roughly 14,000 who have.
A small proportion of a very large number is still a very large number. How can that possibly be safe?
Now, one more government claim from yesterday. Premier Ford is promising that when the 4-week stay-at-home order is done, he believes 40% of adults will have their first shot in Ontario. So far, about 2.5 million people have had their first vaccinations, or 20%. To meet the 40% goal, close to 90,000 shots a day would need to be administered. That is doable. The last 2 days, over 100,000 have been jabbed per day. And I'm told we should hit over 100,000 again today.